What if everything Washington promised about Iran was wrong? Jeffrey Sachs says the strategy failed, the assumptions collapsed, and the reality on the ground looks very different from what American leaders expected. As tensions continue to rise and the Middle East enters a dangerous new phase, questions are growing about whether the United States has a clear path forward. Did Washington underestimate Iran? Has the conflict exposed deeper weaknesses in U.S. policy? And what does this mean for America's role in the world? In this video, Jeffrey Sachs breaks down the latest developments and explains why the consequences of this crisis could reach far beyond the Middle East.
Good to see you, sir.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
So we just went over some of the developments this morning. We've had a new exchange of fire between the Iran and U.S. and Iran and Kuwait. We also have Trump coming out and complaining about people chirping as he's trying to make a deal. Obviously, Israel continues to bomb inside of Lebanon, and Iran continues that as a red line for them. So what do you see as going on right now? Do you think we are actually close to a deal, or is this whole thing falling apart and degrading?
I don't know if there can be a deal, but there can be a solution. And the solution is quite straightforward. The United States, that's all. The United States and Israel had an idea. It was crazy. It failed. But the idea was that in one day, they would take over Iran. That was literally the idea, that they would kill the leadership, put in a new leader of their choice, and then we'd all live happily ever after in their fantasy land. This failed within hours. Iran consolidated its government, especially the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, consolidated its control. And most importantly, Iran demonstrated the capacity to retaliate, and to retaliate very effectively. And the United States and Israel can do nothing about this. In other words, there is no military solution, period. Trump continues to act as if he can make total demands on the Iranian side that Iran has no interest in agreeing to. And from Israel's Netanyahu simply wants the war to continue and to escalate. So Israel uses the United States. It abuses the United States. The U.S. lets itself be abused. And this is where we are. Nothing has changed since March 1st. Trump can fulminate. He can make demands. He can make threats. None of these threats is credible. He knows it. The U.S. intelligence agencies know it. The Pentagon knows it. There's no military solution. So what should be done? I personally don't see how there can be an agreement on complex issues like the nuclear brief. You're going to have Kushner and Witkoff negotiate a nuclear arms control agreement? Are you kidding? Of course not. So the idea that this is somehow real negotiations is ludicrous. The idea that Iran, in this circumstance where you have a war criminal nearby, Netanyahu, saying we need to kill all of them, unilaterally giving up anything, is absurd. When you are facing a Donald Trump who says, let's negotiate, and then he bombs you the next moment, that's absurd. So I personally don't see how there can be a negotiated agreement. But I see a perfectly fine solution, which is the United States leaves, goes home, declares victory, of course, the greatest victory in the history of humanity, and Iran opens up the strait again. And yeah, maybe collects $1 a barrel of oil, because that would be about $7 billion a year against maybe $50 billion of destruction by Israel and the United States in the last 90 days.
Yeah.
So no problem, nothing even to discuss. Next year, if you don't send Kushner and Witkoff, but you actually send some competent people, then the nuclear issue can be brought up again. Of course, we know the ultimate irony is the nuclear issue was solved 11 years ago, and Trump ripped it up. So this is immaturity, it's petulance, it's stubbornness, it's the Zionist lobby, it's a refusal to face facts, it's a old ignorant man as our president. But there's an obvious answer. Get the oil prices down, go home, have a shot at your midterm elections, which Trump now says he doesn't care about. Good, if he doesn't. But I don't want it to be decided on the basis of continued war. But in any event, just go home. You tried something. You tried a stunt. Someone sold you a line. We know who it is. Barnier and Bibi sold Trump a line. He alone in the room bought it. The others thought it was farcical, but he bought it. They tried it. It failed. Well, what are you going to do? Keep trying the same farcical failure? That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
No
possibly.
need for a deal. No need for a deal. Just go home.
Of course, Sagar, the professor forgets that they've also added someone from the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies to the negotiating team. So surely we're on our way to
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I do. One last question on Iran, sir. You travel the world. You speak to a lot of diplomats, Europe and Asia. What has been the reaction behind the scenes? You talk to a lot of these world leaders and a lot of these diplomats. What are they all thinking right now about the United States in the aftermath of the Iran war?
I think everyone sees that the United States government is incompetent, irrational, incapable. So this is a display of the lack of any process or foresight. They see an old guy surrounded by yes men, by sycophants, making decisions that Netanyahu passes to him, and it's not impressive. So I think the world doesn't quite know how to handle this. They have business to do with the United States, but this has been a display of profound incompetence, and that I think is the overriding fact. Of course, they're pissed off also. Their energy prices have soared. This hurts people across the world. They don't like this. They want this to end. But the main thing that they see is instability and incompetence in the United States.
As this crisis continues to unfold, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The consequences of today's decisions could shape the future of the Middle East and the global balance of power for years to come. What do you think? Is the United States heading toward a larger conflict, or is there still a path to de-escalation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.